We're live! Hi! Welcome back to Waking Up with Kandy, where we share our spiritual awakening stories together in resonance and sharing our wisdom and just soaking it all in. So if this is the first time that we're meeting, my name is Candace. I'm a bright and shiny light being like you. And so welcome. Thank you for joining us. Today we're going to have Lana. And Lana is a healer. Hi guys, thank you for joining. Lana's a healer and she's a truth seeker. And she's also the founder and creator of New Earth Community News. Here, and I see her here as well right now. She just joined, so we're gonna get situated. We're gonna hear all about her spiritual awakening story thus far. Can you guys hear me, by the way? Oh my gosh, am I even plugged in? I don't know. I'm wearing these, but I've remembered them this time. But yeah, so I don't know. Hopefully, I don't think they're plugged in. I don't know. Whatever is meant to be is happening, so I love it. Okay, so I don't see the request yet. Let me go ahead and request her. How are you guys doing? How are you guys feeling? How's everything? Like, I would love to hear about how everybody's doing. So please share with me. Ooh, yes, invite. Hello. Oh, cool. And then I get to see who's all still in the room.
Like that. Okay, cool. So let's do that. There she is! Yay! Wow, that's so fast. Oh my God. Lana, welcome so much. Okay, first of all, I just want to say thank you so much for, I know in the UK right now where you're located, you'll share your information, but it is 1 a.m. right, 1:10 right now, almost 1:11. Ooh. So thank you so much thank you. We honor you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. Oh my God, you're so cute. Okay, so go ahead and just tell us where you're located. If you do need to do anything, we'll talk amongst ourselves. Okay. So cute. So just tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're located, and then you can flow into your story.
Okay, no worries. Yeah, I'm from the UK, from London. Obviously I wasn't originally from here, but we moved from Southeast. But yeah, it's quite nice here, city vibes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've got me, my two girls. Obviously my spiritual awakening for me, it started when I was little. Obviously I was quite young when it started for me. I always felt like I had an inner feeling, an inner knowing of something higher than myself, of some existence that I was here for. I remember as a kid, I would stand at the bus stop, like 7 or 8 years old with my mum, and I would just be like asking the universe, I want a family of my own someday. I want to have a loving family around me for myself, because I grew up in a single parent family and it was kind of a struggle for me. So I always wanted that. So I was asking the universe for that as a kid, because it's something that I lacked in my own life, with having like a strong family bond. So yeah, from that point when I was around 7 or 8, I always had that feeling.
Wow.
And
that was just like a knowing like inside.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I love that.
And always a very like a deep connection to the stars. I always had like a draw. It was kind of a drawing, like it was pulling me. And I always would look outside my window, and the stars fascinated me as a young kid anyway. And again, that was another connection for me. I didn't even know what it meant at such a young age, being only like a preteen. And yeah,
but
again,
what was that feeling like when you did, if you remember, what was that feeling when you did look out in the stars? Like, what did you get? Like, I know you didn't.
It was like a longing for home. In a way, it felt like I didn't belong here. I felt like I never belonged. I've always had the feeling of a not belonging, because I felt like in my life I've never really fit into crowds. Like I've never had a big group around me.
Right.
I've always been like I've always had like a very close inner circle all my life, like even as a kid. And even within my family structure of my family, it was always, I always felt like the black sheep of the family. You
Okay,
know,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. You never
yeah,
felt like you belonged. You always
no,
felt like an outsider.
yeah,
Yeah, that's very common. That's so common.
yeah.
So, oh, I'm
Because
so glad you're sharing this.
it's the views and the opinions, and it's just, you just don't resonate with your family. And I think having that spiritual connection such a young age, it was hard. It was definitely hard because you just feel so alone, and mostly the spiritual journey itself is a path that you tend to tread alone. And so that's why it's so beautiful that, like, it's so lucky for us to have this platform, and like with internet, that we can like connect with so many beautiful souls around the world. And I'm so grateful to have, you know, come upon you as well on this journey.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's been so, I'm getting spiritual shivers right now.
Ah!
Yeah, I'm just like I'm vibing all the way through. I can feel it. Yeah, so it's so beautiful to meet, you know, beautiful souls like yourself. And yeah, just because we resonate, and I feel that connection. I don't have to change who I am. And I think for a lot of us in the spiritual community, and a lot of us that have that spiritual connection, we have felt alone on this journey, and trying to reach out for people that will accept us for who we are, and not having to change who we are to fit into someone else's box. So that's a big thing for a lot of us. I feel that a lot of us have had to face.
Oh, yeah. You really described that so head on perfectly. And I know we're also individuals on our individual path, and they look so different. I mean, you can like maybe group together or something, but really they're so individual and so uniquely beautiful.
Yeah.
But there is that same resonance that you just described. And I know that I felt it and I went through it, you know, when I started to awaken. So it can really be tough. Oh my gosh, you so described that so perfectly in your words.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So it's been a journey. It's been wild. It's been wild. It's been good. It's been bad. You know, everything in between. But I suppose the life lessons that we all face it on our path, on our journey, is to ultimately help us grow, and to be the person we're meant to be. I feel like the lessons and obstacles that we face through the journey, I feel it has been for this, like last year and this year, of what's going on in the world right now. And it's kind of been a testament to be like, we need to be strong, and we need to be it's
Sovereign.
made us stronger in who we are to face the things that we're going through.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. It needed to test you.
Yeah.
Like test us to really be solid and sovereign in where we're standing, and in our knowing, and in ourselves. Pushed us to really trust ourselves and go for it in so many different ways. Even just trying something new, branching out and creating something like you have. Like there is so many ways. Yeah. There's just so it's very beautiful. The experience, that the catalyst that it was for many people last year, and this year too, of course, and the years to come. But yes. And when did you, okay, so I know you said when you're young, like you it kind of is it kind of is like you were always connected, like you didn't disconnect and fully integrate and ground here in the 3D. You were like, there's always like, you just are so still.
Do you know what it was? I feel that I know not everyone had, maybe a lot of people had that the detachment, and then kind of really got into it, into the matrix, you know, the linear world that we live in. Because as we know, that the world itself, being spiritual, it's like multiverse, isn't it? It's multidimensional. everything's on a multi-dimensional level, so it's all parallel worlds, and it all goes really deep into all of that. But I feel that I don't think I ever detached. I think maybe unknowingly I feel that I maybe had extra strands of DNA activated that made me not really detach, because throughout my life, I don't know if a lot of people in the spiritual community face this, but I've had illnesses come up throughout my whole life. Like I was asthmatic and a lot of these things, and I had a lot of like stomach issues and stuff that I would go to the doctor, and then, or I'd have leg problems, or at one point I thought I had appendicitis, and I got admitted to the hospital when I was probably in my early 20s. And I would always go into hospital or into the doctors, and they'd take me in, and then do all these blood tests, and then it'd all be like, no, you're fine, nothing wrong with you.
Interesting.
So, but I feel as well, I mean, naturally, I think I'm an empath as well, because I feel a lot of emotions, and I've always felt that that I feel other people's bodily issues. And
it's like a physical empath.
Yeah, and emotional, I would say as well, because I cry at the drop of a hat of anything. And I feel like, is that me? No, it's not me. Like, I would be happy 1 minute, and next I'll be feeling really, really depressed or really, really sad. And at first I was like, oh, people would say, oh no, she's what's that word?
A sensitive flower.
There's a word for it, isn't it? Like I can't
dramatic. Overreacting.
No, there's a word like I can't think of it at the top of my head.
Faking it. Like, I don't know. I'm trying to think what they would say if I was to do if it would happen to me.
I can't remember. It'll come to me.
Okay, yes.
It'll come back.
So they would say that to you, whatever that word is. Yeah.
So I felt a lot of emotional and bodily issues that I thought weren't mine. So I would always question it. And at first, obviously, I didn't realize that I was feeling other people around me, their emotions, their feelings and bodily issues, and they weren't my own. So that was a strange feeling for me as I got older to realize that.
Interesting. So then, do you think you could possibly, I don't know if you do it now, but you can use that as like a physical mediumship? Like, if you're sensing your stomach's hurting right now, and you're in a room, and you maybe like you feel something gravitate to this area, and you can maybe is your stomach hurting? Are you, like, because I'm feeling a pain.
Do you know, intuitively throughout my life, before I even felt that, I would always I'm not certified as a healer, but naturally it's just intuitively, I've, like, with my daughters, like, if they've got ill, I would have my hands over their body, like if it was hurting, and I would like the intention would be there to heal whatever's hurting on them. And and even for myself, I felt like for myself as well that for me, I feel like DNA is changing, like within us, like it's upgrading constantly. Because I remember when I was very young, like it would take forever for like maybe a brute, like if I fell over in a playground when I was young and I bled from my knee or something, that it would take forever to heal. But as I got older, I felt like even like more recently, like if I cut myself and then like my finger was falling off. But it healed so quickly. It healed so quickly, and I was like, wow, that's just amazing. Like it was, it was just it never happened to me like that before. So I felt like a lot of things now with the ascension and everything that's happening around us and the energies coming in, it is changing us from within.
Yes, I agree with the with the DNA upgrades. There's so much that's being healed for us through the sun light codes that are coming in. Just so much help and guidance. Entities are maybe leaving our bodies, being cleared out, lots of things, so Yeah, we are getting more aligned and in tune with our power and our abilities more and more, definitely. So,
Mm,
oh yeah. It's so
yeah,
cool, right? Isn't it
it's
so fun?
amazing. It's absolutely amazing.
Amazing.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
learning so much on my journey. Like, you know, with even having to deal with um, family issues and stuff. I'm looking at
mhm.
life differently,
Yeah,
completely.
a
I'm having to,
different perspective.
yeah, totally detaching yourself from the situation and looking at it from a different perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what a lot of us are having to do as well.
Hmm.
Completely. I mean, even to look at the issues within our own lives that maybe we've faced in the past, to kind of
Yeah.
go back and investigate like why we did that, and you know, really look deep into like to possibly heal like ancestral lines and you know any ancestral traumas, because
Yeah.
I understand that we are the last generation to heal our ancestral traumas. We won't be taking that on into the golden age with us. So I feel like a lot of my cycles that I faced, because I also went through a toxic narcissistic relationship,
Right.
so I feel that that has been also in my mother and my grandmother. So even in my earth family here, that I believe that's happened, and I've seen that and recognized that as a pattern in my own
Yeah.
life. Yeah.
Hmm. And you're breaking a cycle. You're well, even I mean, I feel like I have like healed from some family stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
then maybe then something else comes up, just a little like little shreds of stuff. So,
And
you
you might
know,
recognize it quicker as well.
definitely. And it might just not be anything how it was before. It might just be
Mm-hmm.
like a realization and be like, okay, and then move on. So
Yeah,
there are just so many different layers to this onion, you know? So,
peeling back the layers. Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
definitely. God, I'm getting so many spiritual shivers right now. It's just so
It's
amazing.
so true. It's just truth. It's so much truth. It is. Um, and so okay, so then when did you feel like you really had that real shift, that real like moment of
Like
that
the trauma,
real
like the push to awaken.
yeah, yeah.
I
Was it
feel.
from that relationship?
I think it was a part, because
Yeah.
the thing was, I was in it for 10 years, and being a narcissistic relationship, I was like in and out like a roller coaster ride, you know,
Oh,
together,
yes.
not together thing, you know, it was just like a
Sounds
bit,
familiar.
yeah.
What's happening outside? Anyway.
So it's just, it was a bit messy. And obviously, but I mean, my main traumatic thing, I feel that for me was my mother. When I was
Mhm.
18, my mum had gone through a marital breakdown when I was 16, and I was going through like what here we call secondary school, so sixth form. I was like 17 to 18, doing my
Mhm.
A levels, and even those 2 years from the age of 16, it was a testing time for me,
Yeah.
and I kind of went on a rebel moment
Mhm.
as a pre-adult and stuff like that, because I was just coming from a single parent family, feeling like abandonment issues,
Yeah.
and then my stepdad coming into things and like breaking the relationship there with my mum again. I felt like
Mhm.
abandonment again with my
Yep.
mum, and that not working, me going on that rebel time, and trying to find myself, and kind of it all kind of collapsed for me then. And I think that was the catalyst to
Yeah.
me actually becoming more spiritual and looking into myself.
Mhm.
And that was the stage actually when I was 18. I had my first experience of clairaudience.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And so
It,
that's when you
yeah,
hear
you hear
a voice.
spirit. You hear
Mhm.
spirit. But I didn't hear spirit. I didn't hear a voice. I heard heavy breathing near my ear, and I was sleeping, and I would roll myself up like a caterpillar because I was so scared at what I was hearing, because I had no one in my family that
Oh,
had those experiences, and I was like,
uh-huh.
oh my God, what's this? You know, ultimately, like, oh God, what's this? But I knew divinely and knowingly that angels would protect me. So I called in Archangel Michael, and I was just like,
Mm,
angels protect me, whatever this is. I don't know what it is, just protect me. Tell it to go
good.
away. Yeah. But then from that point, I never had any more clairaudience experiences from that point on. So I think they just took it away completely.
It could be it was too like
Protect.
traumatizing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and just for protection maybe. Yeah,
Yeah.
because maybe then they also you're so young too, and uh, there's so many ways that they can
Yeah.
try to infringe
Yeah.
upon us. And so yeah, that could be like let's just
Like a block for me. Like, and I've been
yeah.
told, I was told last year, because I did a regression with a lovely lady, and I found out that, yeah, my higher self did a block.
I Oh
My
my gosh,
higher
hold on.
self
I
did a,
felt this. I knew you had a regression. I just kept thinking like I need to ask her if she had a regression. I need to ask
yeah,
her. Okay, sorry. I'm okay, go for it. Oh my
yeah,
God, how
yeah.
amazing. Okay, so your higher self. Okay, so she did say she blocked
Yeah,
it.
yeah. I had a higher self, but it was too overprotective for me.
Uh,
So what she did, she done the healing, and she did ask me, did I want that higher self to stay? And then she did a past life regression.
mhm.
She asked my previous higher self to leave. Like, I no longer wanted that, because it was too
Infringing.
infringing on my, yeah, on myself. So
Mhm.
um but
That's interesting.
so what she did a regression for me, and it took me back to my first life, which was we didn't get to actually knowing what it was, but after I looked up what these beings were and kind of tried to investigate what it could be, and I believe it could be a Syrian life, my
Mm,
first life. So
beautiful.
then she put the Syrian as my higher self, like she had them step in to protect as the as the next life down to look over.
Interesting. I didn't even know that could even be, you
Yeah,
know? So that's very interesting. That kind of, it's similar. It kind of reminds me of like a walk-in experience.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
like just okay, you're done, like your soul or whatever your this mission was or whatever. Okay, we've completed it, and now, you know, yeah, the walk-in, the new higher self, the new
stuff would come in. Yeah,
embodiment comes in.
yeah, yeah.
Interesting. And when was this that you got it?
Last year,
Okay.
because I felt so many blockages.
Uh-huh.
Because after 10 years of being in that relationship,
Mm-hmm.
um, I wasn't able to fully be myself because of religious practices and cultural practices of that relationship I got myself into was different
Mm-hmm.
from my own beliefs as well. I think that's why the breakdown as well happened. But it happened, and God, you know, obviously that person wasn't meant to be for me, even from an earlier time, because I just went into things a bit too fast. But
Yeah, it happens. And it happens for you to learn what you know
yeah,
now. Now
exactly.
you're a healer for those, and you
Mm.
provide wisdom for those who are in those stuck narcissistic
Relationships.
relationships.
It is hard. It is hard to detach yourself from that and to
Yeah.
actually realize you're in that, to move yourself away. So
It's so heavily manipulated form
yeah,
of manipulation. So it really just, yeah, it's really
hard.
bad.
It's
It's
hard.
very hard, and you get in that habit or you get in that conditioning, programming everything, and
Mm.
yeah, but you got out. You did
Well,
it.
he
You
had he
really
had a
did
new
it.
supply.
Oh, really? Mm,
He had a new supply already that I didn't know about. But anyway, that's another story.
sure. Well, bye. Have fun. I mean, not good.
Exactly. Yeah, it's gonna be a lesson learned for the new person, but
Oh, send the love,
ultimately a
definitely.
spiritual journey for them to find and face out for themselves. So
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, definitely. Oh, wow. And then, so then it's just you and your little ones right now.
yeah, but I feel so much weight lifted off of me, that I can now be who I am, like, rather than hiding in that box.
That is so good. And then, so since when you broke out, did you even realize even more how many things came up for you, like opened up and
that's like, because after the regression, it definitely helped me release some of those blockages, and then feeling that I could, I had like more influence, like more dreams, more astral. I feel every time I sleep, I wake up feeling like I was so busy when I was sleeping. That I feel like I was living another life when I was sleeping, and when I woke up, you feel so exhausted, so fatigued. So definitely something's been happening on the other side. You know, I could have been living parallel lives as well. I've had things that I believe that I've had a few other lives here as a homeopathic doctor in Hawaii.
Ooh, how did you come to that knowing?
My daughter, she's quite connected.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, she's connected.
As they are.
Yeah, because she goes, Mummy, you know, you've had a previous life here, and you know, she's told me because I've had fears in my life that I was obviously scared of water and scared of driving, and I can't remember how it came up. It was last year actually. She came to me and just out of the blue just said, Mummy, you know, you've had a previous life in this and this, and I was like, really? And she goes, yeah, my higher self told me. And I said, oh, okay. Does she speak to my higher self? And she goes, yes, she does all the time. She goes, I've seen my higher self. She's been in the mirror. I've seen her. It's like a matrix glitch. Like she comes in and comes out. Like she's seen her near the mirror. She goes, yes, she's taken one of my t-shirts. She's taken one of my t-shirts. Yeah. She's so connected. She's so connected.
How old is she? Or how old was she when she said that to you? And then like
she was 9.
Okay.
Wow. Yeah.
Wow, that is so beautiful. I mean, I believe this for such a long time. The children that have been born, the children that are being born, oh my gosh, they're so magical. Beyond, they come in without these infringements that we have had. Yeah. They have these extra protection, extra layers, shieldings, and they're on their whole mission. They're on a whole
another level. Yeah.
I know. Oh, I know. Yeah. Oh, I mean, it makes me sweat just thinking about it. It's just like, it's so beautiful.
I know.
Like that we are living in this time right now, and of everything that's meant to be happening, and we have so much love and so much support and so much healing and just so much around us to help facilitate. And it's not just earthly bound, it's universal. It is. Oh, I could go talk about that forever. So
I know. I know. It's like we have to do a whole other show.
I know. It's so beautiful. Oh my gosh. Okay. So, okay, back to you.
I know. I go off track. I go all into different directions. I told you before this.
I love it. No, I do too. So I'm just like, I'm right there with you. Let's go. Oh my gosh. Okay. So how was last year for you? Like, how, I mean, share as much as you want to share, but I'm kind of curious, how was it for you? Is that when you created your website?
Yeah, so it was last year, June, July time. I had a bit of a nervous breakdown. I did, even though like me being, I had a bit of like,
yeah. I've been through many of them. Yeah.
I had a bit of a, I think it was like another like dark night of the soul. You're like, what's going on? It was a shock to the system, to say the least. But after actually then people started popping up of what was going on. And then I was like, I need to look into this. I need to know what's going on. Then light bulbs started coming on, like, okay, what's going on? So you start to investigate, become your own PI investigator. Let's go into it. So that's when a lot of things started happening for me, and that's when I felt everything that I've been through in my past, it led me right up to that situation. This is what we are here for, being spiritually awake. This is what a lot of us and our journeys have been preparing for. And it was really again, I'm going, sorry, I'm like just
no, I'm flowing with you. You go, girl. You go. It's your show. It's the Lana show.
Yeah, so it was definitely trying. Yeah, I had obviously all sorts of things going on in my head of what's going on. I felt a bit stressed, obviously, because being a single parent with 2 girls, it was kind of stressful being in that situation, not really having family around to be supportive, and so it was definitely trying. So that's when I started reaching out to people and spiritual people, and that's when I come across people like yourself, and and starting to get my soul spiritual tribe around me, and we all starting to feel and pick information. And that's when I started creating. Initially, I started creating that on Facebook.
How long did that last?
Not long. Not long at all. Oh, so then I had to move everyone over. I started moving everything over to MeWe.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I started moving everyone over to MeWe and Telegram and everything else because of the censorship.
I know. It got really bad, but you're doing, like, you're such a truth seeker in that way, and you didn't give up. You weren't like, okay, well, I'm gonna just stop then. You just found a way. You just found another way, and then you'll find another way, and that's what we do. We just find another way.
Yeah, okay, you can stop us, but you can't stop us for that long. We're gonna keep on going.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh. And then your healing that you do, I know you talked about how you heal your girls, or when you put your hands. Is there any other stuff that you do, or
I've not gone out and done any formal practice with anyone, like I've done it with like it's mainly been my girls because they're always around, it's just me and my kids.
Yeah.
So, but I would like to get properly qualified, but I don't think we need the qualification. We already know what the education system really is deep down, so we don't really need qualifications. It's always there, just it was just there as an indoctrination thing for the matrix that we was living in. So I think we all if we all naturally know that we're healers, we don't really need to go and get that piece of paper. What does the piece of paper actually really mean? It's
exactly.
nothing, really. It's nothing.
It could be fake. It could be fraudulent. And so I hear, I agree with you. We are natural healers, and we all each have such special gifts. And
we use them to the best of your ability. You don't need to go and get qualified. If it comes from within. I've always, on my journey, I found that obviously we're multidimensional beings. So what I've come to know is that we are one. We are one family. And when they say we're God's children, there's a meaning behind that, because we are all God's consciousness, but we we seem to be living in this linear timeline, that we are all living individualized, separate lives, but we are all the same person. Like, without you, there would be no me, and without me, there's no you. We're all just God consciousness seem to be living separate lives. So that's why a lot of us, we intuitively know, like, we're a part of each other. We're brothers and sisters, in other terms,
Right.
And a lot of people that I've come across, I always find there's been comparisons within our lives, like things that have come up, either in relationships or with family values or family backgrounds. And I'm like, hold on. you're like, you're me, but you're like maybe 10 years older than me, but you seem to be living that life. You might have 5 kids and I've got 2 kids, but it's so similar. Like, I know you, but I know you because you're me and I'm you. But it's so on another level for people that are maybe not waking up to understand. It may seem so far-fetched for them to realize, have they actually been hiding this from us for so many years because they don't want us to find out who we are, because they're scared of us. They're scared that we're going to know and we're going to come together and unite. And that's all it is. That's why they want divide and conquer. They want to put the divides there in every single way possible. And that's what they've been doing.
Exactly. But, you know, we already united together. So it's already happening.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they knew what this time was.
Yeah, it's crumbling around us as we speak.
Yeah, exactly. And we are all one in that sense. The only ones who are not a part of our oneness is, you know, are the artificial consciousnesses, AI, archons. They are not.
No.
They're not one with us. I just want to say, I do not consent. They're not one of us.
I don't consent either.
Good. Yeah. We because we can't infiltrate, you know, their technology, whatever. But yeah, that was so beautifully said. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's pretty cool what's happening. So there's no more power to be had over us.
No.
And how amazingly, though, for so many years that they have tried anything in the water and food, you know, just even watching TV, just like codes, just so many things. But
it's everywhere, isn't it?
Yeah, and we still shine through it. Like people are still waking up.
Do you know, I'm so shocked at that, actually. The amount of years that I've been alive, or that, you know, just in general, people all around me, for how old we are. Like, I feel like I've drank so much tap water. I've eaten all this crappy food, you know, and like, I'm like, but nothing, you know, I'm not sick. You can't get into God consciousness, human, God created souls. You know, you can't penetrate that. Because God, I feel like we're all divinely protected anyway. I always get messages on like law of attraction posts, like God speaks to me through the post, like your grandmother's prayers and protection is with you, and God, like I knew things that you wouldn't know, and what you haven't heard. So it's all around us that we just don't know. We have to look even to the tiniest speck of a sign and a knowledge that God's all around us. Divine God consciousness is all around us wherever we look.
Yeah, within us and all around us. And there's something special and to be said about intention as well. So if you have your intention, you are protected, divinely protected. You have this all within you. The water you drink, it's not going to matter because it's solid. Then it is. Then it is. I mean, that is so powerful. Just that intent and that knowing alone. And yeah, of course, it's to, you know, people not yet there where we are or whatever, wherever they are. It sounds corny or it sounds like right or what have you. But it's just the truth. And you know, we each have our path to go to. And once you're there and you're able to have that perception, like you said, that different viewpoint, that zoomed out point, then you're able to really see, you're able to really breathe and feel within your heart, from your heart.
It's so beautiful, really. And it's like you said, like it's the onion, it's like the peeling back the layers. And maybe not everyone is at the same stage right now, but they will eventually get there. But it's just taking the time to actually, this is why it's happened the way it has, like last year and this year, is to break everything around us, break the education system, break the, you know, the work 9 to 5 system, to break all that, so people go back to their families, they go back and start to look within themselves and start healing the traumas within their lives, and actually take a deep inner, like, knowing, and just taking the time to process everything that they've been through, stage by stage. This is the whole year, and this year, that's what it's meant for, to heal yourself.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. 100%. And it's up to you, right? It's up to each person.
It's free will. It's free will. Yeah. Everything has been free will.
Oh. So what can you say to the person who, feels really alone and doesn't know what's going on, and just kind of like scared to even change, or to know, to go through this dark night of the soul? Sounds like terrifying. Like, I don't want to do that, like.
It's not as scary as it sounds at all. It's just, I suppose it's just actually taking the time to release the traumas, go back in and look at your life at a detached way of thinking. Take the time to really dissect your life and actually see where everything stems from, because everything has a root. Everything has a root, and where that root starts is where everything generally unfolds from. So for me, as I said, it was like family cycles, like seeing and realizing the shift within my own life, and seeing like the abandonment, like through my life and my girls' life now with their dad, and relating it back to my mum's life. Like, my dad left us when I pieced that together. Like, I saw that cycle before in my mum's. So it's about trying to see the patterns within your own life with other family members, maybe not even family members, it could be friends, it could be, because everything is on such a wide scale that that pattern could start popping up in family and friendship pods as such. Like that could be kind of, the signs could be in your face, not it could be all in your face quite dramatically. Like, well, it's a friend, it's not a family member, so how is that a pattern if it's supposed to be within the family? It might not necessarily be within the family, it could be a friend's situation, and you're like, well, that's what's happening in my life too, how's it happening in your life? So that's the pattern showing in your face. This is the thing that you need to heal. And
if it doesn't come up, right, if it doesn't come up and you're not able to see it, how are you able to heal it? How are you able to look at it? How are you able to speak to it? And how are you able to then eventually love it and forgive it yourself?
Forgiveness is key. Forgiveness is, even all the stuff, it could be really rubbish, but I felt like that with my dad, abandonment issues. I felt really, really in a really crap place, and I'd be crying, I'd be standing there just crying, like even through my adult time, I would stand there crying, like, he would go on in his life meeting other women and bringing other children up in his relationships. I think, well, why wasn't he there for me growing up as a child? But then I realized that was an abandonment issue, and that was like that was just the healing for me, that I felt like I need to forgive him, because maybe parents in our lives, maybe they can't show up for the right purpose, and they can't show up in a certain way because they have their own traumas to heal as well, but they don't realize it, because sometimes it's really hard, because a lot of the older generation are quite ignorant to that fact. I'm sorry to say, they're a little bit
or lack for a better word, didn't know. They didn't know what we know. So much
harder to because I suppose in their time, like, being spiritual wasn't really
what it is now.
Forefront. Yeah, exactly. It's like very woo woo back in the time, wasn't it? It's very not really talked about. So it's really hard for them to have dealt with that trauma.
They've been even a lot of them had really hard childhoods as well, and but just beating you down, just like a narcissistic relationship, want to beat you down. I mean, I know, like my father has issues with feeling like not worthy and unloved and all that. That's from childhood. And then how do they even know to go in and do
How
it? They
to
just feel
find
this
it
the whole life.
all
Yeah.
time. Yeah.
It's really tough.
It's
It's really
really
tough.
hard. It's hard. It's definitely
Hmm.
hard.
Yeah.
It's been really hard on everyone, because then it drips into the generations that come forward after that as well. And it's such a blessing though for us to have been born like in the time that we have, to have that spiritual connection, unlike our family before us.
Right. I know that's so true. And so then they have their own um reasons and paths
Yeah,
why that has happened, why
yeah,
they lived in that time, and
yeah,
why we're here now.
yeah.
Um, did you see a difference in maybe your father's relationship, you and your father's relationship after you did that forgiveness, or you forgive?
It's still very tender hooks with us.
Hmm.
I've forgiven him. I mean, even now I try to help wake him up with sending him things about what's going on in the world, but he's
Yeah.
just so very closed off.
Right. Right.
It's still, I think it's just, I feel the older generations, what it is that I feel that they put a lot of trust
Hmm.
into that 3D paradigm, and that
Yeah.
the matrix that was around us is so very, um, it's like a floodgate, isn't it? Back in those like back in that time, it's like a floodgate. Open every single way you turn, it's in your face.
Yeah. And
Um,
that's all they knew, and it was different. I don't know. Maybe no, it's been infiltrated for a long time.
yeah,
So in their lifetime, it's been infiltrated.
yeah,
However, it's there was maybe more truths in the beginning than, but it's just different. Or it's just all this
mind,
program. It's
yeah,
all just a
programming, yeah,
program.
programming. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's been hard. It's been really hard
Yeah.
to. I've told him I forgive him, and that's helped me in order to
Good.
move on. And even with my girl, similar situation with my girl's father, I've had to forgive him what he's done,
Yeah.
and I've said that to him. Obviously we weren't meant to be.
Yeah.
And I blessed him with whatever he decides to do in his future, and to move on, even though he hurt me by what, you know,
Right.
over the years. Obviously we had good and bad times, because they
Yeah.
would, so
Love bomb you and
yeah,
or yeah.
yeah, those gaslighting and all the other bits that come along with it.
Yeah, exactly. So there's a
Yeah,
lot of forgiveness
yeah,
within yourself though too. We are so hard on ourselves
ourselves.
and blame ourselves for so much that really, even though it feels like it's directly personally towards me or whatever, or
Mm-hmm.
towards us, it's their issues, their projection, their insecurities. I mean, it's all reflection anyways, because then it's your
Yeah,
insecurities.
it's
And
yeah,
yeah, but just have compassion, right?
yeah,
Just compassion with yourself and say,
yeah.
that's okay.
And no judge, and try not to judge
Mm,
anyone who's on their journeys, because
yeah.
ultimately we all probably were once there. I mean, I can't say that I was never in that system myself,
Hmm.
because of that's the way that we had to live, that's the way that we have been told, this is what we need to do in order to survive. So we
Yeah,
can't all say, even being spiritual, that we hadn't been in that ourselves.
definitely.
So we all were there, we all were in the same shoes
Hmm.
as yourself,
Hmm.
but we have then found the inner knowledge and inner knowing to escape it. You can escape it if you
Yeah.
choose to, if you make that choice. But you have to surround yourself with your tribe. If you
Mm.
don't find it within your family and your friends, you can look outside and be at peace, knowing there are people out there like yourself, like myself, and like there's a variety of people. You just need to go and look. Because
Yeah.
I had to, because
Yeah.
I wasn't resonating with anyone within my family structure. I mean, a few of my friends are godly people, like
Hmm.
church going people, and very godly. But even them themselves being godly, they don't really go into the depths spirit. They don't step over to the other side of being
Different.
spiritually inclined. Yeah, it's kind of a bit of a seesaw.
Yeah, because religion also, to
Yeah,
me, I feel it's very it's such a block and and infringement as well.
yeah.
But just to be aware, just it's all about awareness. It's all about awareness. No fear of it. It's
Mm.
just yeah, to be aware. And just like you said, it's such a nice time right now to be awakening or, just asking questions, digging deeper, because there's so many
Much.
people.
So much going on. There's so much. And so many people are awakening around the
Yeah,
globe, literally.
yeah,
All the marches that are going on around the world, and it's
yeah.
just the
It's
time.
all over. It
It's
is.
the time, definitely the
It
time.
is the
Wake
time.
up
It
and
is.
find yourself. Find yourself.
Yeah. And yeah, exactly like you said, if you're no longer resonating with even your family,
Yeah.
you're not your core family, like you're
Yeah.
outside, that's
Yeah.
okay. You don't have to be by their side and in that unaligned state or even toxic relationship.
Yeah.
So remove yourself. That's okay. Even with friends, and we'll find that more and more that we're not really resonating anymore with the people that we once really did, or what have you. And that's okay. That's just natural. That's
Everyone's on
natural.
their own path and journey at that time. They might not be where you are right now, but they will
Right.
get there eventually. But sometimes it depends on if you can wait for that person to reach where you are, but not necessarily you can't really do that sometimes. It just depends on your own situation. Everyone's situation is very different.
Right.
So yeah.
Right. But yeah, exactly. And being able to know that, acknowledge that, take responsibility and surrender to letting it go and not being attached, not being
Mm-hmm.
attached to, no, I need to wake this person up or I need to give them information because it's going to help them and da, da, da. Because there's so much out there. There's so much right now that if you didn't tell them, three other people did in some
Mm-hmm.
way. So there have the decision within themselves has been already circling. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? Like it's
I
already
mean,
there.
I did do that. I did that with my own family. I was kind of on top of them quite a lot
Yeah, yeah,
because me being an empath, my heart is on my sleeve. I wear my
yeah,
heart on my sleeve all the time, and I don't want anyone in the world to get hurt by anything. Like ever since a young age, I feel like a weight on my shoulders, like you need to save the world. I've always had that. I've always had like a
wow.
carrying the weight of the world on my shoulders. Like I don't want anyone to be hurt by anything. So I'm just like, that's why I think a lot of truthers are just like, send this out, send this out. We don't want anyone to be hurt by anything.
It's
But
good intentions.
yeah,
It's
it's good
good
intentions.
intentions.
It's good
Hmm.
intentions. But again, like you said, sometimes you do have to take a step back because you
Yeah,
have to let them have that free will. Because
yeah,
even the amount that you're trying, although it's out of good intention, you're just hitting your head on a brick wall constantly.
yeah.
So you just have to let them wake up at their own time and hope for the best that they don't decide to take anything that's going to harm them
Right.
later on. Yeah,
Right. And that's their own decision,
yeah.
right? How many times did people tell us growing up stuff like
Don't go
don't
and don't, yeah, yeah,
don't do this or don't ever change or
yeah.
don't allow this or don't, and we're
You're
like,
just going to go
okay,
and
okay.
do it.
You
Yeah.
have to,
Mm-hmm.
right? So we just have to send them love and yeah, exactly. And I think
Just send
that's
them prayers and protection.
right. Yeah, and yeah, exactly. If their higher self allows it,
Yeah.
and not because it's tough not to infringe on their free will, even in a good intended way.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and that's why you're here. That's why we're here. And I think that's the hardest thing right now, really, is to go along the journey and go get higher and higher in our consciousness and in our evolution and our ascension path and not take everyone we love with us.
That's sad. It's sad for me
Very hard.
because
Yeah.
it's really hard to deal with for me. But I know that it's God's will and it's free will. Ultimately, everyone's free will to decide. It's their own choice, and we have to be comfortable although it might be really, really hard. But knowing though that if anything happens, that we've passed that stage last year, that anyone, like for the golden age to have happened, the first part of the solar flash happened in December, that anyone that does pass over this year, that they will all be coming back to us.
If they haven't chose, right? If they haven't
chosen, yeah, I think that's the way. I think a lot of people within the spiritual community are saying, you know, if they haven't gone along and chosen that themselves out,
yeah, that's what I heard. And then they'll be reborn knowing now, okay, and then possibly growing to be one of the leaders or one of the strong forces within it all.
I've heard something like that.
Yeah, I have to. So, well, and man, it's so wild. It's like
so mad, isn't it? It's so on many levels. It's just so, it's a bit mind-blowing.
It is. It really is. Which, I mean, I love it. It's so fun and like just wild, because even though, I mean, it's serious, but it's not so serious that it strips away our joy and our fun and our playfulness and the exploration into the unknown and connecting with our child within and laughing and spreading that love. That is fully awakened. That's fully implemented within this, because we can't get distracted, or I mean, you can if you want to, but distracted by these details, these little details and things that in the bigger picture, that's not what matters. You raising your frequency high, you being that light, that love, that information. That's what it is. That's what it is. Oh my God, I felt so much love with you. Like it's so so
then
good.
It goes off on all in different tangents, all off in different directions.
I love it. Well, since we're getting to the hour mark, but is there something that you wanted to share about your awakening experience? I know, right? You said that you were go ahead.
I'm in the beginning stages of just getting some of my thoughts down for a book. So hopefully that is possibly something in the near to late future, hopefully, God willing.
Of your awakening experience, right?
Of my spiritual awakening experience, from birth, from all what I've told you briefly today. Right. We'll go probably more into more detail.
I know, an hour is not enough. There's so much.
So hopefully, in the near future, that will be out, hopefully, get in there. I don't know how long it would take me to write, but we'll see where it all leads off to. So.
But you started it. I started it.
It's a work in progress.
Yeah, but that's good. I mean, like, taking the action step is really the hardest part for a lot of people. So that's really, really good. And please let me know. I would love to read it. Let us know. And
I'll send you the first copy.
Oh my God, stop. Oh my gosh, I would love it. I would.
That's later on. I have to find a publisher later on and all that. So let's wait.
You could always publish it yourself.
Yeah, I can.
I don't know.
Wait and see.
We'll wait and see.
Watch this space.
Yes, definitely. So how can people find you? Is this your only website, or do you have a
I don't have a personal website right now, but in the near future, again, I will hope to bring that forward at a later stage. I'll get a professional website up and running, and I'll hopefully be doing that and chucking it all up on there as well. So but for now, they can obviously reach me here at the Instagram plugin link, the NEC New Earth
the
community.
New Earth
community.
Okay, perfect.
See me there.
And then do you have a personal account too?
I
don't know about Brian. Let's stalk you. Let's stalk Lana.
No, I don't have a personal one. I don't have a personal one right now. That, and I have other little ones going on, like where I sell some stuff. So, but this one is my main account. So
Okay, cool. I'll definitely plug that in when I save the video.
Thank you.
Oh yes. Is there any?
No, no. It's been absolutely amazing. I thank you for allowing me here in this space, in your space, and it's been it's been a beautiful experience for me, actually. It's really been beautiful, and I hope we can see each other and talk again at a later stage and keep in contact.
You know we will. We will. Thank you, Lana, so much. Thank you, everybody who watched and joined. Thank you, thank you. You're so beautiful, Lana. Thank you for all the work you do. Thank you.
Thank you, darling. Thank you too. I love you.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.